Uh, excuse me. Good morning. We need to talk. This is We Need to Talk 23, and my guest today is is a professional basketball player, Miss D'Angelique Waite, also known as Angel. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Just thank you for having me. I'm excited about the interview and yeah, just hope everything goes well. Just came from practice actually about 30 minutes ago, but I'm feeling good. I'm doing good. Thank you.
Oh, I appreciate you, giving me some time after practice. I know it was probably an intense practice.
It was good. It was good. It was good. Coming off of a tough loss this past weekend. So just really trying to get back in there and, go hard and get prepared for our next game coming up this weekend. So yeah.
Okay, so how has the season been going so far?
Oh man, it's been great. I've never been a part of the team that I'm on right now. I think this is the first time where I'm experiencing being a part of a team that's so gelled,
Hmm.
that we have like that bond. We trust each other on the court. We all want the same goal. We've all been working really hard. And not only that, in our club's history, this is the best record that we've had, that the club has ever had, for the Essex Rebels.
Hmm.
Um, and we've just been playing great. And then honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing how far we'll go this season. So yeah, we have an 8-3 record. We just lost, like I said, we had a tough loss this weekend to the number one team in the league last week, only
Yeah.
by a couple of points. But yeah, we're at our halfway point right now in our season, and just looking forward to the rest of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so right now you're playing in the WBBL, and
Yes, that's
and
correct.
and for the people that do not know, where's your team located?
Yeah, so I play in England, United Kingdom. The WBBL is the Women's British Basketball League. It is the highest league that they have in the United Kingdom, professionally wise. And the team that I play for is the Essex Rebels. And yeah, so there you have it.
So what? So let's go back to, let's say, high school and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So when you started playing sports, was basketball your first choice?
Um, Honestly, not initially. So yeah, I basically started playing sports in middle school when I was 10 years old. Also, why I wear the jersey number 10. That's when I really first started to get into sports. It's one of my favorite numbers. I'm currently not wearing the jersey. I got someone nagged my jersey, but yeah, that is why I wear that number. I played every sport actually as a kid. When I started off, I did track and field. I played basketball, I played soccer, I played tennis, and I played volleyball. I like to think that I'm just like an all-around athlete, but I really found love for the game when I made it on the first basketball team in my sixth grade year. But from there, once I made that team, I still did track as well. So all the way up until from middle school into college, I played both track and basketball, but I kind of let go of all the other sports. Um, and then when it came down to what I wanted to do between those two, basketball just had my love. It was just what I really love to do. And I think track played a role in it because you still have to run up and down the court. And I also did the high jump and the long jump. And just having that athletic ability and translating it from the track and field onto the basketball court, it just helped. It just helped my game even more. So yeah.
Okay. So in high school, what was your high school career like?
It was good. I was 4-year Leatherman, MVP of the team, captain of the team. We I live in a small town, so Lehigh Acres. Basketball itself wasn't really big yet at the time. There wasn't many travel clubs, and then the school that I went to, we weren't really well known for basketball. I tried to kind of establish that culture and that environment while being there. but there were other teams that we did play against within our conference that were really good, but our team, we weren't one of those top teams and in our town. But I just loved playing regardless, and I took it as a challenge when we went up against those other teams that were good or that had a lot more players. Whereas on our team, we only had like two main players, but we would go against other teams like in our town that had like strong four good players or strong, it might be the whole team, and but I took it as a challenge, and I loved to just see how I played against those teams and to see like, you know what, I can compete with these girls even if it's only me and another main player or not. Um, we made it to, I think my senior year, we made district runner up, so we lost in the district game
Mhm.
against a team that was pretty good. And our other main player got injured, so it technically was really just me and a couple of our other girls against like a pretty good team.
Mhm.
And and that was the first time I think that East Lee County's women's basketball team made it that far as well. In school history. So I mean, it was a good feeling. It was tough playing, but I enjoyed it either way. Like I said, I took it as a challenge, and it was what I love to do. So I didn't mind at all.
Okay. So then after your high school career, how many offers did you have um, after your senior year?
So actually, we'll take a quick step back. So throughout my high school career, I also played travel ball, and I played for a team called Florida Future from my freshman year to my junior year.
Mhm.
And I think the travel ball is kind of what helped me get that exposure because, like I said, I was, Lehigh is a small town.
Mhm.
It's not many, you don't see many college coaches saying, I'm coming to Lehigh Acres unless you're like a five-star athlete.
Mhm.
Um, so travel ball kind of gave me that exposure, and we went everywhere. We went to Georgia, we went to
Mhm.
Tennessee, we went to the Disney Sports Complex,
Okay.
and I think that's really how I got my game exposed. And as far as offers, once my senior year came, I had four offers. And by the end of it, one was in Florida, um, two were in New York, and then one was in Delaware.
Okay.
Um, I knew for sure I didn't want to stay in Florida.
Okay.
I wanted a change of environment. I wanted to just go as far as I could go, honestly. And just, I mean, experience that. I know sometimes we kind of get worried when we're in an environment that we're not sure about and we're uncomfortable. But
Mhm.
I wanted that because I know that being uncomfortable is what helps you grow.
Okay.
So I chose the farthest place possible and I went to New York basically at the end of it. And it wasn't even about being far as well. It was just the camaraderie that me and the coach had built together,
Mhm.
just talking back and forth throughout the recruitment process. And she loved me and I loved them. And it was just a great connection that we had from the start of the recruiting process. So eventually that's how I chose to go to Long Island University in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
So
So,
yeah.
so what was your transition like going from high school basketball to your first practice or your first game at the college level?
It was tough, man. I went from being a star player on my team to not even seeing the court my freshman year. It was tough. It was tough because literally it's a shift of environment. You're at a level now. So LIU was Division One. Division One is the highest level in NCAA as far as basketball wise. So you have Division One, then you have Division Two, three, and then so on and so forth.
Mhm.
And we were like a mid-major school. So we weren't like top D1s like your Big Tens and your Big 12s and but it's still competitive.
Mhm.
Even my teammates, like they were great athletes. And um, like I said, I went from being the star player to um, I think I came in with three other freshmen. So it was four of us that came in my freshman class. And I think I was the only freshman that didn't see the court yet. I think we were already like 5 or 6 games into our season, and I still didn't play yet. And my other teammates that came in with me
Mhm.
played, and I'm like, dang, what's up? But I think my coach was trying to teach me I think she was trying to teach me one, patience. And I think she knew that I was a good athlete
Hmm.
and I was a great basketball player. But I think she wanted me to recognize that if I work harder, if I just do a little bit more
Hmm.
and I'm patient, my time will come. And it did. It did eventually. I think I ended up playing maybe that seventh or eighth game. And I went in there and I probably, scored like 4 points, got a couple defensive rebounds. But I think that was just a chance for her to teach me, like, when your time does come, you ready and make sure that you go in there and you make an impact on the game, regardless of if you have 5 minutes or 35 minutes.
Okay.
Um, and I learned that the hard way. I appreciate her for doing that because it allowed me to understand that, like, you have to, regardless of your situation, yes, you want to play more, but you have to prepare yourself and you have to work hard no matter where you are or what's going on. It's not only about you, it's a team sport. But when you put that work in and you have that work ethic and that understanding of, like, you know what, it's not all about me. Yes, you want to play, but at the end of the day, when you do your part and it trickles down, everyone else will do their part as well. And yeah, so it was tough though. It was tough.
So what was your so in your freshman year, or once you started getting more minutes, what was your highlight, your freshman year?
Ooh, tough question. I don't know if I remember. Oh, you know what? You know what? I actually I think I do. No, that was my sophomore year. I was gonna say we played that was my sophomore year though. We played at USF, Florida State. No, FSU, Florida State,
Mhm.
in our preseason game. And but this I'm sorry, I'm not even answering your question because this is my sophomore year, but I'll tell you
You're
anyways, because
fine. Go ahead.
it's a great story. So I'm gonna tell you anyways. Yeah, my sophomore year, we played Florida State. They're like, at the time, they're like number 7 in the country. Great Division 1 basketball school. And I remember I don't know, we started off the game like hand in hand with them. So we're like, oh yeah, we actually have an opportunity to win and beat like a big time school. And second quarter comes, and I remember a girl getting a steal, and I chased her down like from one end of the court to the other. And I feel like she thought, like, yeah, I'm gonna get this easy like layup, you know what I mean? I'm like, nah, not today. I chased her down and I sent her shot in the stands, and everyone was just like, oh. But I think that was like one of the first like big plays that I ever really had in my career. So
Mhm.
I was just excited about that. And I think I was even more excited because it wasn't offense. Oftentimes a lot of people like scoring buckets and crossing somebody over and stuff like that. Like, it was like a hard defensive hustle play. And I think that was like one of my biggest um first time having like a really big moment and just like chasing her shot down and blocking it. And it was just a great feeling. And my teammates were cheering me on and stuff like that. So that was dope. My freshman year, I can't to answer your question though, I can't really remember
Okay.
when I had my big game my freshman year. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Okay. Well, at least you got to show out against a one of the, I guess, powerhouses in
Yeah.
college
Yeah.
basketball. So, so what would you say outside of your, excuse me, outside of your freshman year when you weren't starting, what would you say was your toughest time, and how did you work through that?
Um, I think just being away from my family,
Okay.
it's a whole new environment. Literally, the first time I'm on my own, I'm in a whole nother city, a big city at that. And there's a lot of responsibility. You have to wake up early. You have to make sure you're on time for class, make sure you're on time for practice. You gotta eat. I think just being an adult almost was just tough at first. I mean, it's literally your first time doing everything on your own. So, and I think the toughest thing for me was like punctuality. I'm showing up to class right when the class is starting, or I got to make sure I'm on time for practice. Because if you're not, you're in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, um, and then not only that, our schedule was tough. Like some days we would have like a 6 a.m. practice where we would have to be on the field to start our strength and conditioning at 5:45. And then once we like stretched and ready to go to start for 6 o'clock. And then once we did that, we went into the weight room with our strength and conditioning coach. And then after that, we went on the basketball court and had practice. And then after practice, I had class. Like that was tough. Like that schedule, days like those were like they were tough because I remember going into class sometimes and I'm falling asleep because I'm so tired and I'm so drained after having just like a tough morning of, you know, a hard practice that day. Like, and then after class, like you literally have maybe, depending on what day it was, every day wasn't like that. But let's say if it was a Monday, and then after class, I only had like 10-15 minutes to grab something to eat, scarf it down quickly to go to the next class. And then, you know what I mean? It was tough. It was tough. But just getting a hang of the routine, the daily routine is, I think was the toughest thing. And being on my own initially. Yeah.
So now, what was your team's biggest highlight during your, you know, your 4 years at LIU?
Yeah. So we actually didn't have a winning season, which is why I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Put this on do not disturb. We didn't have a winning season going into period. Like LIU, the women's team, they had last won the championship, I believe, in 2007,
Mhm.
year 2006, 2007. And then after that, they kind of went downhill from there. Like they hadn't won in a while. Um, so initially, actually, the coach that recruited me my freshman year is a coach. They got fired. The whole coaching staff got fired because she had too many consecutive losing seasons.
Mhm.
So I actually had a whole new coaching staff coming in my sophomore year. It
Okay.
wasn't even the same coaches that I had my first year. So I'm saying this to say, like, so my freshman year we went to playoffs, but we lost, I believe, in like the first round.
Okay.
And then my sophomore year, it actually was the first time that LIU did not make it to playoffs.
Okay.
So like the past years, they always made it to playoffs, but they just weren't winning.
Mhm.
So my sophomore year, that was the first year we didn't make it to playoffs. My junior year, we made it to playoffs, and then my senior year, we went all the way to the semifinals. So I think that was a big change for us as far as like trying to change the culture and change um um basically like how winning and losing, because
Okay.
we went from like not really winning games to like almost taking it all the way. We lost in the semifinal, um which is one game right before the championship game against the number one team in the league at the time. I
Mhm.
think we ended up losing about maybe like 15 points or something like that. But I think that was just the highlight for us, is because like LIU hadn't been there in such a long time. And I think that was the first time we all kind of had this hope that we might have a chance to take it all the way, because we just played so well. I don't remember what our record was, but it was one of the best ones that LIU had in years. And
Okay.
I think just trying to change the culture there, um, you know, would have been great for us, but unfortunately, we just couldn't pull it out. So yeah.
Okay. So I didn't ask this in the beginning, but
Yeah, no problem.
what position do you play, and what's your height?
Yes. So I do play the four position. I'm a forward. But all my life I've always been a small post. So I am 6 foot even. Um, and yeah, so I've always played like the 4 or 5 position, but I've always felt like I was more of a 3-4, like a stretch forward. Um, but now here at Essex, I play the 4 as well, sometimes the 3, sometimes the 5. So I'm a pretty versatile player.
Okay.
Um, my game is stretched, so I can play out and I can play in the post. But my actual position is a forward. Yeah.
Okay. So now we're at the end of your college years. What was your, and I'm sure your dream is just like anybody that plays any major sport.
Yeah.
Um, so your next step was, were you dead set on going to the WNBA, or was your goal just to play professional basketball?
No, initially it was the WNBA.
Okay.
Initially it was the WNBA where I was just like, I just want to play at the highest level possible. Like WNBA is like one of the best leagues and one of the toughest leagues to get into as
Mhm.
far as women's basketball, like in the world. Like when you make the WNBA, I think it's a huge accomplishment for those girls because they work so hard to get there, and it's not easy, you know. But then I got to a point where when I started to learn a little bit more about the WNBA and as far as like pay goes and just certain things, I was like, you know what? I just want to be a professional basketball player, point blank, period. I know I have the talent. I know I have the ability to, and I still haven't crossed the WNBA off my list. It's still a goal that I'm looking to reach. I'm working hard each and every day to potentially get to that point.
Mhm.
But yeah, I came to a point where I was just like, I just want to be a professional athlete. So
Okay. So has there and has have you gotten any calls or anything since you've been overseas playing?
no, but it doesn't really work that way, kind of
Oh.
sort of. No, you're good, you're good. No, but there's something called undrafted, and basically it's when you aren't specifically, so basically both NBA and WNBA, they have a list of players who they they want to draft into the NBA. But
Okay.
when they do, so when draft day comes, those players may be on that list, but
Mhm.
that doesn't mean they'll necessarily be on a team.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's hard to explain, but yeah, a lot of people think, oh, because they're on that list, they're going to be on that team. Most times, if you're a first round pick, for sure you're going to make a team, but
Okay.
after that it's not a certain thing. So the WNBA also does have tryouts, and then like I said, they have undrafted. So let's say you did make that list but you didn't make a team,
Mhm.
then you can still have the opportunity to be drafted or to be picked later on down the line, or whatever may happen throughout that process or whatever.
Okay.
So I plan on trying out,
Okay.
basically. Yeah.
Okay.
But if I do become on that list, or my name gets put out there somehow, some way, then that's great for me, obviously. But you still kind of have to try out
Okay.
at the end of the day. So yeah.
Okay. So out of now you're out of college. What's the first league or the first team that you played for out of college?
The Essex Rebels. So I actually played here my first season ever. I played here. Um, and it's crazy because I didn't know I was gonna play. I actually I didn't have an agent or any agency that was helping me find anywhere to play or anything like that. I actually got connections through one of my old teammates that I went to LIU with, and I was saying, "Oh, there's this great program called Team Glias," and I was like, "What's that?" Like, I don't know what that is. And she's like, basically, you can sign up, put all your information, put your highlights, put all your accolades from college, in your degree on this website, and you can go to school and still play basketball and still play like whatever your sport is. I was
Mhm.
like, really? She's like, yeah, like it's dope. Like you should, try it out just to see. Because at this point, like I had no idea how to even get overseas. I had a couple of coaches trying to help me, but for whatever reason, it just didn't work out that way. So I was like, you know what? I'll try this. I'll try this website called Team Liz. So I went on there. I did that. I uploaded videos. I put all my accolades. I put what degree I got, and kid you not, like 10 minutes later, I had like 5 schools contacting me. And it was crazy because there was one school in particular that I was looking forward to going to because she already had contacted me on Facebook, but I didn't know that her school was a part of this Team Glias thing. So I think that was just one of the ways that she kind of found players like that, like on Facebook. But so when that happened, I was just like, oh, like I didn't know there was like a lot of schools that was a part of this. I thought it was just like I didn't really know what to expect. So when I saw all these offers, I was very surprised about it. And basically they offer you some sort of scholarship to get your master's degree, and you can play your sport still. You can continue to play your sport. I was like, yo, that's dope. Like, why not? So like I said, the coach that had contacted me on Facebook, the school at the time was offering me, I think, like 60% scholarship. But the professional team that I would play for, I would still have to travel like an hour away just to get to like practices and stuff. So I was considering it, but I still wasn't really sure about that decision.
Okay.
So my mom's like, before you make any answers, don't tell them anything yet, weigh out your options and see, because she's like, I don't know if I feel comfortable with you going to another country and traveling an hour away for practice at night. Like, I was like, all right. So then the next day I woke up and saw another message from the University of Essex. And the coach offered full scholarship, and I will be playing in professional league right there. And they had just created this brand new multi-million-dollar arena as well. So I was like, yo, this is cool. Like, so I kind of felt bad though, because I had made a relationship with this other coach. But I told her, I said, no hard feelings towards you. I said, but I think this is a great opportunity for me. And it's an opportunity that I can't turn down. I can't deny it. I'm getting my master's for free, and I'm playing professionally. So that's actually how I got here, which is crazy because most people like the original route is that you either sign with the agent or agency, and then they find teams for you to play for. Whereas I went on this website not really knowing anything about it, and turning out to be one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, and got my master's degree for free, and I'm playing professionally for the first time ever in my life. So it was great. It was dope.
Oh yeah, that's good information for all the boys and girls out there that see
Yeah.
this interview. That's
Yeah. And I even tell some of my old teammates now, one of my teammates messaged me and she was like, do you know about this program called this and that? I said, listen, I don't know. I don't know much about any program, but I said the program I do know about is Team Glias. That's the program I went through, and they were great. And the lady was very helpful as well, who's the founder of the organization. And I said, if you want to, still play, if you want to get your degree, go to Team Glias. Like, basically, I told them, and your degree is accepted in the United States if you get it out here in the United Kingdom. So yeah.
Oh wow. So at LIU, what was your major at LIU?
Yeah, so I got my bachelor's in sport and exercise science at
Okay.
LIU. And then I got the same thing here at the University of Essex. I got my master's in sport and exercise science as well.
Okay. And when you first got there, how was the I'll get to the transition from playing overseas and stuff, but
Yeah.
what was the transition like going from, well, actually, let me ask a question like this. How was it doing schooling and being a professional athlete over there?
Oh man, that is a great question. It was the toughest thing I ever had to do in my life, only because and some might say it's the same as college. You went to college and went to school, but only because I think our schedule one is a lot more strenuous than it was in college.
Mhm.
And the level of education over here is so high,
Okay.
especially for a master's degree. Like they do not play. Like when I tell you, I cried, sweat, tears, praying every day because I was so stressed out. Like it was tough. It was tough. And I'm grateful for the experience because that, it allowed me to learn something about myself. And that's perseverance. Like every day, like I had to work hard, to get where I am and to get what I have now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That degree did not come by somebody just handing it to me. I worked hard for it, day in and out, like each and every day. Like it was tough. It was tough. And honestly, it probably might be one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life, at least now to this day. Like it was a tough one. It was a tough one. But I'm grateful for the experience. So yeah.
Okay. So now leaving the US and
Yeah.
going over there, what was that transition like?
Man, I was nervous. I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I think it was my first time being in another country, like across over, like, you know what I mean? Like I've been to other countries like on this side of the world, but like literally across over the pond, as they say. Like it
Mhm.
was my first time like going somewhere so far. Um, I guess the one thing that I kind of was okay about is that, as you know, we have cousins here that
Mhm.
live here, and I met them previously. So that was a little bit of comfort knowing that, you know what, I'm going really far, but I know there's people here that I know,
Yeah.
and that if I need to, I can go to them, or you know what I mean. But when I got here, everybody was really welcoming.
Okay.
Everyone was kind, and it's crazy because I don't know if this is this exact saying, but it's like um two countries that speak the same language, but yet they're so different.
Yeah.
So like we speak English, they speak English, but it's not the same English. Like it's crazy. Like even certain things that they call, we would call something different. Like, and that right there to me, like um is one thing that I worried about. Well, one thing that I didn't feel like I had to worry about. But once I got here, it was some stuff still. I was like, what are you guys talking about? Like, I have no idea what you mean by this.
Mhm.
And whereas if I went to another country where they're speaking Spanish or Italian, where I know that the language barrier would be, a difficulty, it
Mhm.
was still kind of tough at first because I'm like, yeah, we both speak English, but it's still very different.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I said, I was nervous, but everyone was welcoming. I did not know what to expect at all. I think that was my biggest thing, just being the unsureness of the uncertainty of everything, the environment, the
Mhm.
people, the school, where I'm gonna live, who I'm living with. Like, um, I was just unsure.
Okay.
But at the end of it, it was great. And everyone was, like I said, everyone was nice, everyone was very welcoming, and the experience was great.
Okay. So now, so in doing some of my research and stuff prior
Yeah.
to this interview, I see that you scored your six hundredth point in your career so far.
Yeah, which I'm very surprised about. Only because, like I said, so I played here my first year, and then now we're only halfway through the season. It's crazy because England, they're really like quirky about stuff like this. They are statisticians with everything. Like they have stats for the some of the stuff that no one would ever really keep record of, which I think is cool at the same time. But like they have a stat for this is the first time this player has ever, I don't know, like they keep record of like every stat in the book that you could think of. But Yeah, and I only say that that's crazy because with 4 years in college, a lot of players don't even make 1,000 points.
Hmm.
And for me to only have played one season, which there are a couple more games,
Yeah.
but for me to only have played one season and a half, and already at 600, almost a little over halfway, I think that's awesome. Like that's amazing. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a dope thing, and I'm just gonna keep working hard, to get
Hmm.
to get those accolades. And yeah, hey, I don't even keep track. I just love what I do, and whatever the outcome is at the end of all of this, it is what it is, and I'm just blessed and grateful to just be able to do what I love, really.
Okay, and I see that you, and I also, now correct me if I'm wrong. I think I saw that you're, what is it? I think 50th in assists or something like that. I was reading.
Yep, yep. Um, Now I don't know if you're talking in the league
Yeah.
or if you're talking in the club itself. So I'm pretty sure if it's 50th, then it's in the league maybe.
Mhm.
And then for sure I know that in the club I'm the number one rebounder that the
Okay.
club has had this far.
Okay.
So yeah.
Hey, big accomplishments, very big accomplishments.
Yeah.
So what was your what was your highest scoring game since you've been over there?
Yeah, 39 points.
Okay.
39 points. It was not this season, my first season. We played against Caledonia Pride, and I had 39 points and I think 20 rebounds or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's the most I've ever scored in a basketball game. And then right below that, I think I scored 32 is my second highest points that I've ever scored in a basketball game. Yep.
See, I asked that just to let the viewers and the listeners know, like, I'm not talking to, and no offense to anybody that doesn't play. I'm not talking to a bench warmer. I'm talking to somebody that actually plays.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah.
So I have one question that's not basketball related.
Yeah, of
Um,
course, of course.
just so I can, and then we'll get back to some other stuff. But as far as the whole was it the Prince Harry and all that stuff, is that such a big deal there? Like they're making it here in the U.S.
Um, yes, I think so. I think yeah. You hear it a lot like on the news and the radio, um, on the TV. It is like I think there's two sides of it. I think, the British people feel one way about it,
Hmm.
about the whole situation. And I guess a lot of them would per se may be angry about the situation, whereas like Americans feel another way about the situation and
Yeah.
they want to be like more supportive. But yeah, it is a big deal. People talk about it all the time. I know when Meghan Markle went on the Oprah show to talk about it, like everyone was talking about it over here. So yeah, it is. They talk about it on the radio and the TV and stuff. The thing is, so we are still on lockdown out here, so you don't really
Okay.
see many people, but for sure it was all over the TV and on the radio and on the internet. So yeah, they have been making it a big deal.
And,
It's funny. It's funny to see like two perspectives or to hear like two different perspectives about the situation.
I didn't even think about that. So I'll throw this question there. So how has it been playing you know, during this pandemic? How has it been
Yeah.
over there?
Um,
I know we only see what goes on here in this country. So how has it been playing over there during this time?
yeah, so at the start of it, kind of there wasn't really any like ground rules set
Mhm.
initially. And I think that's very important because I don't know how you would be able to play in a league without, setting any ground rules when there's a pandemic going on. Like, so I think as a collective, all the teams within the league kind of came together and was like, excuse me, all the teams came together and kind of said, okay, well, we need to have a couple ground rules and we need to establish what every team should be doing and how are we going to accomplish this. So at the end of all that, basically, I guess we came down to every team, every player and staff on the team has to get tested twice a week and show proof of your results before every game.
Okay.
If you have a negative test, you're fine. But if you're tested positive, you have to do another test and you also have to quarantine for 10 days,
Okay.
the whole team. So at the start of our season, there was teams that we were supposed to play that we didn't play for that exact reason.
Okay.
So those games had to be postponed, and then we ended up playing like other teams and to replace the games that we missed basically, and to kind of keep the season going still.
Okay.
So yeah, so it was tough for me because I'm like, okay, I come out here January 5th, and literally the day before I come out here, it was all over the news that a new kind of strand of the virus is all over the United Kingdom, and they're going into a country lockdown. So I'm over here freaking out. I'm messaging my coach like, hey, what's going on? Am I still coming? Like, my flight's tomorrow. Are they letting people in the plane? Like, what am I gonna do? But it was actually smooth sailing. Like, literally, I got to the airport. There weren't many people there. Got on the plane. I had legit a whole row to myself. Like, there's 3 seats here, 3 in the middle, 3 over there. It might have been me, no one at all in the middle, and like one other person. Everything was like spaced out, and I don't know if that was maybe just that flight or how other flights were, but so I didn't really have to worry about being right up under anybody on the airplane. And then I got here and we had team meetings about like what was the protocol going to be, for us to continue playing throughout the pandemic. And then we have to, during games, we have to sanitize. I'm sorry, are you saying something?
Oh, no, no,
Oh,
not.
okay, I can hear you. So yeah, during games, we have to sanitize every time out. They have to clean the balls and switch them out. And I guess scientists had done some sort of research that basically saying throughout the game, we're not in enough contact with each other to pass it on to each
Okay.
other if anyone did have it. But because we do the testing twice a week, which is annoying at this point, I don't know how many COVID tests I've taken. But I'm not complaining because, like I said, I'm blessed to still be playing. And if this is what we have to do in order to play, then I'm all for it. So yeah, and that's basically our routine every week. We take a COVID test, show our results. The other team, they have to take the test, they have to show results. And then when it's game time, we have to sanitize all the time. My hands are so dry from sanitizing. They clean the balls. They have to clean our chairs. Like, I don't know if you ever see on the game, but I don't know if the camera is in that angle, but they wipe down everything all the time. You always constantly seeing everybody just wiping down stuff. And but yeah, so like I'm grateful for it though. I'm grateful for it.
Okay, so my next question is, so with everything, and not just because you're on here, and when we get, take us to the next part of this interview, I can show my knowledge of women's basketball.
Yeah.
But what do you think is or not? What do you think? How do you think we would be able to close the pay gap between the NBA and the WNBA? Because I see a lot of times that, for example, they're talking about Sue Bird is, essentially has similar stats as far as years played and championships
Oh yeah,
as
she's a
LeBron.
baller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as LeBron. And they're trying to say, well, how come she isn't making or made as much as LeBron is making? And I am, I would assume that you understand also that there's, it's all about what people bring to the game. And
Yeah, yeah,
I'm a big Connecticut fan, so I know all about Sue Bird. But,
yeah.
how do you think that, we could start to really close that gap between the NBA and the WNBA in terms of
Um,
pay?
it's a tough question, but it's something that needs to be talked about more.
Mhm,
And you're starting to see these topics come up more and more,
mhm,
especially because of social media. Social media has allowed people, it has given people a platform to really express, their feelings about and open up conversations like these.
mhm.
And I think that one, it comes with the support. And
Okay.
it's crazy because even now that you're saying this, like you see, um, for example, I'm gonna just go off topic really quickly.
Mhm,
I don't know if you've heard about what's going on now with the NCAA and how um, the men's team had this huge gigantic weight room with all the weights and all the equipment that they needed, and then they had yoga mats and dumbbells for the women. And then they had these swag bags with all this gear and all this stuff that they gave them and body wash and all this. And the women had like 5 items. And
mhm.
then they were eating like buffet style dinners. And then we got like a packed lunch in a little box with meatloaf and Lord knows mystery meat and Lord knows what else they was eating. I mean, stuff like that. And what's crazy about that is the NCAA is one organization. It's not separate like how the NBA and the WNBA is.
Mhm,
That's one organization. So you guys are one, a multi-million-dollar organization, right?
mhm,
That one, you're making money off of these athletes because they don't get paid. They get a scholarship, but they don't get paid for the stuff that they do. But you
mhm,
guys have it all over the internet, all over the TV, and you can't do the same for what you did for the men, for the women.
mhm.
One organization, all that money that you guys have, the women don't deserve the same thing. Oh, listen, we're just asking for equality. We ain't asking for, to have more or to, you know what I mean, be better. It's just a simple decency. But I say that though to say like when it was a girl from Oregon. Her name is Sedona. She's the one that brought it to light on social media everywhere,
Okay.
which is kind of how everyone got notice of it. But it's crazy how the comments, when you just go into the comments, like what people are saying though.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't deserve that. There, it's just a women's sport. It's not that important. Like so many people bash women's sports, women athletes in general, that they don't understand. We put in the same time. We're working just as hard. We're sacrificing our bodies day in and day out.
Mhm,
We're going away from our families too. Like, you know what I mean? Like not only that, you have mothers that have kids too. You know, like it's so much that we sacrifice and put into it, and so much work that we sometimes we even have to work 10 times harder sometimes for what we have, you know what I mean? And we get bashed all the time. And I don't understand why it is that way, first of all. But secondly, instead of talking down or bashing us, where's the support? Where's the love? Oh, women's sport isn't that entertaining. They can't dunk. Like it's not all. That's not what all the game is about. That's not what the game is all about. You know what I mean? And um, to get back to your point, though, I think, but there has been a change in support. You
mhm,
can see that a lot more people are starting to watch women's sports more now. But I think that's only because it's been brought to light. You know what I
mhm,
mean? I think initially it would just be friends or families, but now you have people. Perfect example. My brother don't watch no sports at all. He does
mhm.
not watch sports. The first time I've ever seen him lay eyes on any kind of sport in his life is when I played.
Okay.
And I think that's great. Like, but that I think also though, that's when you start those conversations like, yo, check out this basketball game. Some really great athletes. My sister's playing on the team. Tell her, you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
I think there just needs to be more of those conversations. And then as far as the pay, it's tough, but I think once you have that support, and I think once you have more people tuning into those games, then they'll be able to build more revenue
Hmm.
to pay these players. Um, um, I don't know. I don't know. You have a referee in the NBA making more money than a WNBA player. Like, it's stuff like that. Like, I don't know what needs exactly needs to be done, but I think it does start with one, just being supported. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We work hard, we work just as hard. And I think once that starts to happen, then they probably need to build a team and put a team together that solely focuses on that. Like,
Mm.
what can we do to help these women out? What can we do to give them a fair or equal chance? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh I don't know. It's frustrating though. It's frustrating because you know what happens? All those women in the WNBA, when their season's over, because they have mortgages and they have car payments like everyone else,
Hmm.
on their off season when they're supposed to be resting their bodies, they go playing in other countries to make 10 times as much money in another country when they just played a full season just so that they can pay their bills and take care of their families instead of being where they live and the league that they're in and making the money that they should be making. They have to do that on their off season, and that doesn't help anybody. That's just hurting them because now they're not getting recovery, they're not resting, they're putting their bodies at risk for more injury. Like, but I guess you have to do what you got to do, which isn't fair, point blank period. And like I said, we don't want extreme, we don't want, oh, we want all of this. Like, just equality, just making it equal. And I think that's what we struggle with, and not only basketball, but just in life. Like, it's just certain things that, yeah, I mean, and you can attest to it, like being black in America. Like, it's just things that are just way left or way right when we just need to be right in the middle. We don't want a huge difference. We just want a fair chance.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about the situation. I don't know.
I I think it's crazy that people, that people say, oh, it's just girls, because like I said, I'm a huge fan of women's basketball, and like I said, I've always tell people, it's just my personal belief that women play harder than the men do. That's, people will say, oh, that's not true. That's my personal opinion, and at least from what I've seen and watching, like, I prefer to watch women's March Madness more than the men. And I said because it's more competitive. Although you have your alphas and
Yeah.
basketball, you're gonna have your Connecticut's, your
Yeah,
Tennessee, South
that's
Carolina.
that's the biggest thing about March Madness as far as like women and men.
Mhm.
With the men though in March Madness, sometimes there's a lot of upsets that's unexpected because with the women you have those really top tier teams that like, yeah, it's gonna be, you know what I mean? But I think when it comes down to like the Elite Eight, like
Yeah.
those last 8 teams, it can be anybody's game. And I think that's what's most exciting about it.
Hmm. And that's the thing, is just like, so when people say, oh, it's just girls, and I'm like, like you said, you all are doing the same exact thing that the men are doing. And like I said, if we're talking about, let's say, Connecticut women's team is much bigger than the men's team. I don't care what anybody says. Coach Calhoun retired on the men's side, or whatever the case is. Gina Oriem has been there forever, 11
Yep.
championships. So you can't tell me that the men bring more to the table than the women do. They may bring more sponsors in, which is silly as hell to me, because you have, the women playing so hard and doing what they do, and then they still, you all still get looked down upon.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's, I don't know, it's crazy. I hope that it gets to a level playing field, because for example, to speak on what you were talking about, I hope I get the name right, but Simone Augustus, I think they have a documentary on her where they start following her from the end of the WNBA season to her going overseas
Yep.
to to continue. So pretty much, like you said, she's playing year
Year
round
round.
with
Hmm.
no recovery time and things like that. And that's sad that they have to do that when they're playing here in this country. And
Yeah,
one thing that I think would help WNBA, if anybody from the WNBA hears this, is I think they need to try to find a network that more people can see the games on, because WNBA is scattered all over the place. You might have a WNBA game on ESPN 3,
yeah,
or and then when you check the guide, they're playing a game on Lifetime or something. It's just like, how
yeah.
many people have Lifetime and things like that. So I think
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
if they found a stable network to put the games on, let's say, Fox or something like that, because
Yeah.
or NBC, because to me personally, and if anybody gets mad, I don't care. I don't want to see bull riding or fishing. You're going to tell me that a WNBA game isn't more entertaining than watching bull riding or fishing?
Yeah.
It's crazy, but I can't wait to until they get to that point, because there's a lot of young women, little girls out here that need to see that, rather than
Yeah.
forcing them to sit down and watch LeBron and everybody else play.
And just real quick, not to completely discredit them, this past year, they did pass some kind of rule, or I don't know if what you would call it, where they are starting to pay them a little bit more.
Yeah, the million. Yeah,
But yeah, but I think it's like the high level players though. So like your Brittany Grinders and your Diana Taurasi and your Skylar Diggins, like those players, I think they're looking to which still isn't quite fair, but I think it's a step in the right direction,
yes,
because obviously in the NBA it's the same. LeBron obviously will be getting paid a lot more than I don't even know
yeah.
somebody, but yeah, but so they have started to kind of lean in the right direction, but I think there's just still so much more that can be done.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, just so you can get some rest and stuff, we come to the end of the episode. Let me.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I'll do. Give me your top five WNBA players all time, and
Okay.
then I'll give you mine, and then give me your top five NBA players.
Okay. I think I can do that. Okay. So WNBA. First of all, have to go with Lisa Leslie.
Mhm.
She was the first WNBA player I've ever seen like play. And then when I found out she was the first woman that ever dunked, I was like, oh, I like her. Like, um, so definitely Lisa Leslie. Um, then we're just gonna have to go with um one more old head, but I'm trying to think of her name right now. T Weatherspoons.
Oh yeah.
She's a killer on the court. Love her game. I've actually met her in real life. Awesome person. Um, her defense, her game is just great. She was one of those players that was just so aggressive on both ends of the floor. And then we're gonna go with Diana Taurasi. She's a point blank period. She's a baller. I love her game. She kind of reminds me of like a woman Kobe. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she's a baller. We'll go with we'll go with Brittany Griner.
Okay.
Her post presence is just incredible. Oh dang, you said five. I
We
was gonna
could
say
we
like
could
two
we
more.
could we'll go with six, just so we got somebody
Okay.
coming off the bench or something.
All right. Yeah. We'll go with Brittany Griner. And then I want to say, actually, no, let's say Asia Wilson, and
Okay.
then a rookie, Arike Agumbawale. She's a baller. I watched her when she was at Notre Dame. I love her game. Like, um, And I like all of them for different reasons. They all just bring different aspects of their game to the game, and
Mhm.
I just love watching them, and I love their style of play and just their work ethic in general. Like they're all great female athletes, and I enjoy watching them play. So yeah. And
Okay.
then if we go for, oh no, I'll let you go, and then we'll go for the men.
All
Yeah.
right. So for sorry, like I said, I agree with you 100% on Lisa Leslie. I met her, great person to, to
Yeah.
talk to and stuff. So I would definitely start with Lisa Leslie. Um, I will go, of course, Diana Taurasi. Follow her in college, follow her in WNBA.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll say Maya Moore. You know,
Oh, I forgot about Maya Moore.
love
She's a
Maya.
killer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maya Moore.
Yeah.
Um,
Dang, I left her out. She's definitely, you're right. She's definitely up there. You're right.
Big fan, big fan. I love what she's doing. What she did on the court, or what she's doing on the court, and
Off
then
the court.
what
Just
she's
with
doing
the
off the
justice
court.
system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to step away, take 2 years away from your career. That's big. And
Yeah, that is big.
for those of you that don't know what we're talking about with Maya Moore, Google Maya Moore, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about.
There's a quote that what's his name? Oh my gosh. Who took a kneel in the NFL? Why can I
Kaepernick.
can't
Kaepernick.
Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go. I had a brain fart just now. There's a quote that he said, and it's the quote was, let me see if I can remember it really quickly. Because this quote is basically, I think, uh exactly what Maya Moore and Kaepernick, did.
Mhm.
And I think the quote is believe in something even if it means giving up everything.
Yeah.
I think that's the quote. And I just love that so much. It's because like, yeah, like you might have worked your whole life to be where you are, but if that means giving it up for something that you believe in, like go for it. Like, and I think that says so much about a person, and that just shows so much like value of their morals and who they are. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
yes, this is what I love to do and I'm gonna do this, but I believe in so much something that's way much bigger than me and so much more than what I'm doing now on the field or on the basketball court. And I think that that's awesome what both of them, Kaepernick and Maya Moore, have done. And I think they follow that quote 100%.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Because there's not many people that would. it, what Kaepernick did is great. What Maya Moore is doing is great. But
yeah,
for Maya Moore, right, Kaepernick was kind of forced out of sports. But for Maya
yeah,
to step away
way
at
from it.
the
Yeah,
height of your career to, to go do some things off the court, it is just that's a big testament, like you said, to her morals and things like that. That's
yeah,
and these are the things that people miss out on when they come to the table, or with the mindset of, it's just women's sports. No,
yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing that, like you said, a lot of people miss and don't understand that yes, it's a sport, but it's bigger. It's bigger than just what we are physically doing.
mhm,
Like it gives us a platform to not only inspire others, but to speak out on things that you know a lot of people don't have this platform to do, or the things that needs to be spoken about,
mhm.
that those hard conversations that people don't like to have, like it gives that opportunity and that platform to do so. So yeah, we play this sport, but it's not only what we're doing, it's why we're doing it and who we're doing it for, and how can we inspire others to be great in whatever it is that they want to do in life, or whatever dreams that they have. And you know what I mean? Like, I think that's what's most important to me. Like, I don't play just to play. Like, yes, I love what I do, but I play to inspire the younger generation. Like, no matter what you do, no matter who you want to be in life, as long as you put your mind to it and you work hard, you can achieve any goal or any dream that you want in life. Period.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. But see my last three. I think I have three
Yeah,
left.
two.
Two. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll go with, and a lot of people may not know her now, but if you may know, but Cappy Poindexter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I met her too. Great. Now that's one of when she was at Rutgers, and when she got to the WNBA, and when her and
She's
Diana
a
Taurasi,
baller.
yeah, when her and Diana Taurasi were together, and
Best backcourt. Best backcourt.
yeah,
Yeah. And WNBA history gotta be. I think right now, I don't know about right now because there's some great, but for sure they were one of the best backcourts in WNBA history.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'll have to go with. Let's see, this one is kind of tough for me because it's between Cynthia Fowler's and Griner, but
Okay, yeah.
just because I watched, when Fowler's was at LSU, and then Brittany Griner, what she did with that Baylor team was just,
Yeah, yeah.
so I'm a Fowler fan, but I'll go with Brittany Griner, and
Yeah.
they'll
Cynthia Fowler's a baller too, though. She's a
yeah,
baller too. Yeah.
yeah, and there's so many others, but
Yeah, there is. There really is. There really is. No, you named a lot of old heads, but I respect that. You named some good ballers. I respect that. You did.
that
You
that way I can prove that I really do watch the sport. I
did.
can just go with all the
Yeah.
top name people. Okay, and then your five NBA.
Okay. So, um, oh, this is tough, but I'm definitely gonna go with the legend. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant,
Mhm.
for sure. For sure, Kobe Bryant. Um, then I want to say, and then I'm gonna skip kind of the middle guys, and I'm gonna go to the newer generation now.
Okay.
I love LaMelo Ball,
I like his game more than I
but I've
thought
been
I would.
watching him since he was in high school. Like I've always, and it's crazy too because like where he is now, like I always used to say, like, yo, people are hating on this kid, but he's gonna be great. Like I remember when he first got big in like social media when he was just a kid, like, and I'm young myself, but I remember watching him from 14 years old up until now. Like, I love his game.
Mhm.
So yeah, so we got Kobe on this end, we got LaMelo on this end, and then I'm gonna go with another young guy that I really love, and I love him for his athleticism because he kind of reminds me of myself, John Morant.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
love his game, John Morant. And then we're gonna go in the middle here. We're gonna go in the middle. Let me see. Let me think of like a couple old heads. I want to say, oh man, this is tough. This is tough. I want to say, KD. He's
Okay.
not even old. He's not old, but I love KD's game.
Mhm.
Um, and last but not least, as far as like a shooter, when we talk about shooters, I'm gonna say Ray Allen.
Okay.
That's an old head right there, Ray Allen. Yeah, he's a killer. Yeah, I remember when Boston went crazy that year,
Mhm.
and it was him, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, them guys, man. Oh my God. Ray Allen, yeah, he's a killer. He's a monster. I like his shooting. His shooting is crazy. I
Okay.
know people say so. I like, and I don't get me wrong though. I love Steph Curry, but if we're gonna throw it back a little bit, I'll go with Ray Allen.
Yeah. See, so I will go with. See, I'm a LeBron fan. So not the Lakers fan, but I'm a LeBron fan. On
Yeah.
on
Hey,
and off
okay.
the
Let
court.
me just make this clear though. I'm not completely discrediting LeBron at all. I'm,
Oh no,
I'm
no,
not.
it's
I'm not. He's a
no.
phenomenal athlete.
We want to give the people something different rather than your standard top five, all this craziness.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, but I will go with LeBron. Um, I will go with Kevin Garnett. The first uh, jersey that I owned was a Kevin Garnett when
Kevin
he got the
Garnett. Yeah.
Timberwolves. So I'll go with KG. Then just to go off the regular path, and I'll give me Dame Lillard.
Oh, you know who? Okay, now that you say that, you know who I love as well? Bradley Bill.
Yeah,
Bradley Bill.
I think his only problem, and it's not him. I think it's just the market that he's in that
Yeah.
he doesn't
But
get the
people
shine that
don't
he should.
people don't see that because of that. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? People don't see his game because of that for that reason. But I man, you know what? I feel like he's been underlooked, or is it overlooked?
overlooked.
Overlooked for a few years now, man. That guy right there, he's a baller. He is a baller, and his work ethic is crazy, man.
Yeah, and
Um,
I'm here in the DC area, so I get to I get to see it a little bit more.
but yeah, I agree with you as far as his market, which is why he's overlooked oftentimes.
Oh yeah,
But as a player, man, he's phenomenal, I think.
yeah, he really is.
But yeah, go ahead, Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard. Then I'm with you. I'm a Ja Morant fan, and I'm just like coming out of coming out of you want to say a smaller school, but him coming out of here, I'm a Ja Morant fan.
Yeah.
And then fifth, you know what? I'll throw a true point guard in there that I swear gets overlooked by everybody. Jason Kidd.
Jason
Jason
Kidd,
Kidd. If you're talking about a true point guard
point guard.
who's not looking, he reminds me of T Witherspoon, like you said.
Yeah.
That's who I would compare it to because when she got drafted to the Liberty,
It is.
Liberty was my team. I think she was
Yeah.
their first pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I was just like, and I met her briefly. I think I want to say in the airport or somewhere, and it was a quick, "Hey, how you doing? I'm a fan." Blah blah blah, and she wasn't rude.
Yeah.
She stopped talk for a second and kept going. So I would
Yeah.
say Jason Kidd and T Witherspoon, they remind me of each other. But
Of each other.
that would be my five for the NBA.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
But yeah. So how well I'll say this too, and just to let everybody know, you can dunk. I've
Ah,
seen your.
yeah. Yeah. I can. I can. That is right.
What was that feeling like the first time? Because I'm sure as kids we all try to dunk and want to dunk. What was that feeling like the first time you got it to go down?
Oh man. I don't know. I think I was just I don't know. I don't think I was as surprised, but I think I was just happy. Only because the first time that I've ever touched the rim, I was in eighth grade. I
Okay.
remember I was in PE class and I'm like, all the guys, making fun and laughing. I'm like, nah, y'all for real. Like, I can touch it. Cause I remember I kept trying to practice just like, and I always was I never could get it. I was like this much there. And I was like, you know what? Today's the day. I remember the first time I did in PE class, I went up and I just grabbed it. And everyone was looking at me like, no way. I was like, I told y'all, I told y'all, like, so the first time that I actually ever like threw it down. Like I was just happy. I was just like, you know what, man, I can do this. So now, really, now I'm just working on like trying to get it consistent, and I have been for some time now because I can do it occasionally, but it's not like, oh, if I do it, I'm gonna make it every time. Like
Yeah.
whereas with some guys, like it comes easy like that for them.
Mhm.
But yeah, with me, if there's a couple videos of me out there of people throwing me lobs. I've done it in warm-ups where I'm just coming off the dribble doing it. Yeah, no, it's a great feeling. I mean, and that's just a testament to my athleticism and just working hard, obviously it just shows, all that work that I've put in and I'm able to do something like that. There's only a handful of women that can do that.
Mhm.
And I'm just proud to be a part of that. So no, it's a great feeling. Honestly, it is. It is. I've done it a couple times in a game, but I haven't made it. So that is actually one of my goals, just to really just throw it down one good time in a game. So yeah, no, it's a great feeling. I'm proud to be able to do something like that.
Okay. So then in closing, what's some words of encouragement or wisdom that you can give to, you know, a young lady that will see this? It doesn't necessarily have to be as far as sports or anything, but
Yeah.
just some words of encouragement for a young lady that may be, even a young boy. I throw make it all inclusive. I would say a
Yeah,
young
yeah,
boy,
of
young woman,
course.
that may be doubting themselves in whatever area. What was, something that you use to keep you going, a quote or something?
Yeah. Now, first and foremost, I just want to say we're all human. I think even as kids, you see your parent and you're like, you think that they have it all together, or you know what I mean, or your older brother, older sister, or you see an adult and you're like, oh yeah, they have it all together. Like we're all humans, and we all every day we learn something new about ourselves. Every day we face adversity. um and just word of encouragement is like, it's okay if you don't know what you want to do, or what you want to do now, or what you want to do in the future. As long as you work hard each and every day, it only takes one day to get better at something. So if every day you get better at one thing, by the end of the year, oh my gosh, is you know what? Is you that means you got better at something 365 days.
Hmm.
Just take it one day at a time. It doesn't matter what it is. Never give up. Always keep your head up high and work hard for whatever dreams or whatever goals that you have in life. Like, don't ever let anyone tell you you can't do something. I mean, and that's how I live my life. Like every day I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get better at just one thing. It doesn't have to be 1,000 things. And I'm just gonna keep working hard at whatever goals that I have in life, and I'm never looking back, and I'm never giving up. And there's a quote that I like, and it's greatness is inspiring. Um, Let me think what it is again. Oh, greatness is inspiring others to be their best.
Hmm.
So, and I like that only because it's like, one, when you work hard and other people see that, it's a trickle down effect. It trickles down. Like, man, I love the way that person works. Oh, I love seeing that. Like, only if I could do, like, you can do that. A lot of people like, only if I could do this. You can do it. You just work hard. And I think that's what I love about playing basketball. When other people see me and they're like, man, I wish I could do that. You can do it. You
Hmm.
just got to keep working hard. And every day I try to just get better. And whatever it is I do, I just want to be better and get better. You know what I mean? Like, um, just never give up. And whatever dreams or goals you have out there in life, you can achieve it as long as you put your mind to it.
Oh, well. So how can the people follow you and your team, the Essex Rebels?
Yeah, yeah. So if you go to YouTube, type in SX Rebels WBBL, I believe. We have a YouTube page, and click that bell, the little bell, the ding, so you can get the notifications. Once you get the notifications, it'll let you know when our games are. And most times we play home games every weekend. And then if it's not a home game, you can go to the WBBL page. Um, and you can look up the Essex Rebels on their page, and then there's a list of the rest of our games that we have for the season. So I believe if you just go to Google and you type in wbbl.com, you'll be able to find it there. And yeah, you can watch us play on YouTube. There we have, I think, 10 more games for the regular season until we're into playoffs. We're at the halfway point, so there's a lot of games that you guys can catch up on and watch if you're interested. So yeah.
Well, well, you know what, I really, really appreciate you, coming on, giving me an hour or so of your time after practice.
Yeah, no, it's no problem at all. No problem at all. Appreciate you for having me.
Means a lot, and you know, I just wish you and your teammates the best of luck for the rest of the
Yeah, thank
season,
you.
and
And just real quick, because I know we didn't really talk about anything else, but just to put this in there quickly. yes, I'm a professional athlete. Yes, I play basketball, but that is not all that I do, and that's not all that I am. Just to let you guys all know, I do have, like we talked about earlier, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and I am soon to become an entrepreneur. I'm working on a couple of things. So be on the lookout for that as well, and a YouTube page as well. So yeah, um, basketball is what I love doing, but it's not only who I am. Just never forget that. Because at the end of the day, when you're old and you're retired and your body's hurting, you still got life after basketball. And so yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you use basketball to take you where you want to go. Don't allow basketball to
Exactly.
use you up and leave you with
Exactly.
nothing.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, yeah, I appreciate that, and I apologize for not bringing that up, even though
No, no, it's all
we
right.
mentioned the degrees and stuff. But but yeah, like I said, it was fun. And hopefully we can do this again. Maybe right before the playoffs or after the season or something, just to check in on you and see how everything is going.
Yeah, of course. No, that sounds good. That sounds good.
But I definitely appreciate your time, and I'll be in contact with you to let you know when the episode is coming out and everything.
Okay, yeah, cool. My my coach actually was asking like, "What's the link? We want to see it." I was like, I was like, "All right, I'll get it to you. I'll get it to you when it's out there." So no, that works. That's cool.
Okay, yeah, it should be out. I want to say in a week or two. It should
Yeah,
be out.
whenever. That's cool. That's cool.
So, but yeah, I'll definitely send you the link and everything. So, we need to talk 23. It's another episode. Miss Angel, thank you for joining me, and
Thank you.
I'll see you all again later.
All right. You enjoy. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.